Viktar, Makouski, your superpower. Your superpower, Viktar, Bartosz.
Humans have a superpower. Do you know that you have a superpower? There are more than 2 million known species on planet Earth, but only we have this ability. Every species makes every decision based on two things: instincts and experience. Humans do so as well, but only we have an ability to act in spite of our natural inclination. That means that when something happens, our mind always presents us with a natural, automatic, impulsive response based on instincts and experience. And unlike any other species, we don't have to go with it. We can choose something else. We can choose our response to circumstances around us. That is the true freedom of being a human. How to use the superpower? How does it work? Let me start with a quote from Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl was a Jewish psychiatrist who was a prisoner in Nazi concentration camp during the Second World War. His family was murdered, and he himself spent 4 years of his life in concentration camp. There he made a lot of discoveries. He noticed that he can actually choose his reaction to circumstances around him. Instead of sinking into despair because of the horrors around him, he decided that he will imagine how he will use this experience in his lectures after the war. And he did. He supported not only himself, but the others as well. He organized a psychological help group and saved a lot of lives. If the man in concentration camp was able to choose his response to circumstances around him, then surely we can do so as well. Now let's get back to our lives and let's look at an example that is not as grim as previous one. Let's imagine that someone just infuriated you to the degree that you are boiling up inside and a lot of unpretty words almost literally jump on your tongue, ready to shoot in the direction of that someone. Before this happens, there is a tiny space, a tiny piece of time when we can decide to act differently. In this example, we had only fractions of seconds to choose our response. Let's look at another example. Before going on stage, in front of a crowd of mostly unknown people, we may experience an enormous fear and anxiety. We may even have an intense desire to run away as far as we can. But we can also decide to act in spite of our instincts and do it anyway. Unlike any other species, we really can choose how to live our lives. Our superpower, it's like switching from autopilot to manual control. It is indispensable when we need a course correction. But that also doesn't mean that we have to use it all the time. Because more often than not, our instincts and experience advise us to do the right thing. For example, to not touch the fire, to eat when we are hungry, or to sleep when we are tired. So we have to decide when to use our superpower based on our priorities. Okay. If we can be superheroes in this story, is there a villain? I believe so. It is that voice in the back of our heads that tells us that we are no heroes. Our power is so great that this villain wouldn't stand a chance against us in a real fight. The only way for him to defeat us is to convince us that we don't have this superpower. Usually he comes in a difficult times and tells us, give up. That's just too much for you. You can't really choose your response to these circumstances. Who do you think you are? You are just a victim. In this moment, we have to say, stop right there. I know who I am. I am a human, which means I have a superpower. It may appear for some time that the enemy is strong and the circumstances around you are unbearable. But remember, you are always stronger. Your life is not predetermined by your instincts and past experience. You have a choice. You have an ability to choose your response to circumstances around you. You have a superpower. So master it and embark on your own superhero's journey.